Hello, I am not just a filmmaker because I am also dealing with the repercussions of 2020. Hi everyone, my name is Lachlan Lyle and welcome back to my podcast. Um, should I change the camera angle? Oh, I feel like I should change the camera angle. You know, stopping the podcast for this. All right, I think I like that a little bit better. Yeah, that looks better. Right, for audio listeners, I just changed the camera angle of the podcast and didn't even bother restarting because I don't respect anyone. And I think ultimately it was worth it. It looks better. Okay, so obviously it's been a while. I'm recording this on the Monday, trying to get this up for the Monday deadline, which because I decided to release the first podcast on a Wednesday, but say every episode was on every second Monday. So every episode will be on every second Monday. It's not on Spotify yet, the podcast. So just subscribe on iTunes. If I'm enjoying this, I'll put it on podcast and start Spotify and start paying for it. But also, oh jeez, my stomach. Should I keep? I don't know if I should keep resting my mic on my belly. Ugh, this is a really depressing image. All right, never mind. We'll keep going, and yeah. So let's start doing this instead. Yeah. So I've decided in the stage of post last episode that I would be doing this podcast every second Monday because I think a fortnight is like a reasonable sort of like easing into it. It may go weekly. If this goes well or if I'm really enjoying it, I may bring this weekly. We'll have to see how it goes overall, but we'll have to see. Um, so yeah, what's happened with you guys? Have you guys been keeping well? Merry Christmas, firstly, and Happy New Year. I know it's like January 10, but better late than never. And I know the first podcast came out on like New Year's Eve, but better late than never. So yeah, that I don't know. It's I'm good. I'm well. I'm doing well. 2020 sucked. And I'll be honest. I know I'm probably not the first one that said it, but 2020 sucked. It sucked. It was a rough year. It's last final year of uni, done all through on this computer. It's very rough to just watch it go by like a meter from your bed. Like there's no room in here. Very little. I, it's not the. It's my room, so I'll deal with it. That's not yours to deal with. I'm gonna deal with the room myself. I think we'll get onto room topics in another in a little bit, right? In another world. Um, Maybe next week. I may keep making promises that I'll talk about it next week. Next week comes around and I already forgot about it. I'm only remembering right now that I promised I would talk about my computer story. I don't know. I will talk about the computer story. Putting it into the notes. Computer story. There we go. All right. So yes, it's honestly very hot. It's just very hot. My blind's been down all day, and to record this podcast, I was really tempted to just like, bugger it. We're gonna miss the first deadline the second time, and you know what? We maybe we'll see how we go. I'm already sweating. Jesus. It's yeah. It's very hot, so I've had to pull my blind up, and I'm just faced with a window of sun. I'm like, I don't appreciate this. But do you know what I said about how I don't respect my audience? I suppose this is me respecting my audience enough to, well, you at least deserve an episode. You've been good, all four listeners. Yeah, four listeners. That's pretty cool. Honestly, never really thought anyone would listen to the podcast. I'm sort of surprised that people did listen to the podcast because four listeners, it's heaps. It's it's heaps. I don't. Yeah, I'm very surprised. I honestly, it's very happy. To those four listeners, mum, my sisters, my girlfriend, thank you for listening to the podcast. Because I'm pretty sure those are the people who listen to the podcast. They came up to me and asked me about the secret podcast. So we're at 3, and I'm still waiting for. No, we're at 2. I don't know. How many people do I have to listen to until we get the secret podcast out? Like, guys, the secret podcast. Is that not something you want to hear? It's me in a secret podcast. We won't talk about it. Shh. Right? Just shh. It's a secret. Shh. Right? So obviously, keep it a secret to yourself. Don't go around and tell anyone that there's a secret podcast. You need to just shh. If you want to comment about the secret podcast down below or in the TikTok comment somewhere, just remember, just shh. Put a shush in front of it, alright? Just keep it a secret, just so everyone knows, oh, this person's, they might be talking about something private, something a bit quiet, something we should keep on the down low. People just start going, shh. I think that'd be a very good solution of how we should start commenting when we want to talk about something privately. We should just have a shh. That'd be great. If you know, hey mum, I've got shh. Secret podcast. Hey, I've got a secret to shh. I've got a 20-minute secret to give you. That sounded so sexual. Wow. That is. You know when, like, Arrested Development, Tobias just keeps saying sexual innuendos? I imagine that being one of them. I imagine that being like, I got a 20-minute secret to give you. It's just one of those weird sexual innuendos that's just kind of like makes people uncomfortable in a room, like you said it, and then there's about a 5-second pause, and everyone locks eyes, and then we feel uncomfortable. Like that. Like that. I'm glad we all felt that uncomfortable silence, because we needed it, you deserved it, because the audience deserves no respect. No respect. No respect at all. Like and subscribe. But yeah, that's don't tell anyone about the secret podcast. Shh. Secret. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. I'll allow mums to know. If you want to tell your mum about the secret podcast, you can, because everyone loves their mum, unless they hate their mum. There's a difference there. But yeah, obviously not the response that went viral. But yeah, the TikTok clip. I put the clip on TikTok. I've been starting to put things on TikTok. I've been trying to learn how to do TikTok, actually. I don't know how to do it. All I know is that you should just do duets and dancing and things, and just take unoriginal audio and do your own thing with it. Excuse me. So
actually, I asked Mel to present.
Okay. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, there is, yeah. If you want to find me on TikTok, it's at Lockie P. It's all one word, and the E is a 3, because I'm cool like that. Yeah, so I don't know how, but like basically I'm averaging a strong 300 views an episode, 300 views a clip, because it's just, I'm just not that good at it. Like, if the moment I get past 300, that'd be a pretty satisfying feeling, because 300 would just be awesome. But obviously you need engagement and interactions, and I don't have much of that, so I need to learn how to drive engagement, and I think that's where I need to learn, and also why people want to watch things on TikTok. Maybe I shouldn't be like putting podcast clips on there, but actually more like comedy skits, and maybe I should try duets and taking unoriginal audio. I should start try doing that, and then maybe I upload more consistently, and I should start writing this down. I think this is a solid plan for how this is all going to work out. I'm just going to take a sip of water, because we're facing that problem that got this podcast nice and crispy. We're facing that problem that the podcast only got to like 25 minutes last time. But I came prepared. Like that song, be prepared, unless you got a spare. Like, you remember Hoodwinked? Hoodwinked was awesome. Hoodwinked is too underrated. People need to be watching Hoodwinked more. I don't know why people like chose. I understand why people chose Shrek. Shrek's amazing, but seriously, Hoodwinked. You gotta watch Hoodwinked. Have you seen this Schnitzel posting page on Facebook? It's really small. It's got like 50 likes. Pretty sure it's got 50 likes. I'm not gonna research it. Just it's 50 likes. Just saying it then. But yeah, it's Schnitzel post. Very funny. Ugh, excuse my civil plates. Oh wait, no, that was. You couldn't even hear what I was saying because the microphone was far away. Silly me. What was I saying? Schnitzel posting. It's just how Hoodwinked. It's what a fun movie, engaging mystery. People need to be showing more respect to the film of that class. And by that class, I mean obviously snubbed for Best Picture because that's what it was. The story behind Hoodwinked is oddly fascinating. I had one of my mates, Chin Watched. He does a podcast called Chin Watch. He did a podcast on Hoodwinked. He like spoke about how the origins of Hoodwinked is just like this crazy story where basically it was the first independent like 3D animated film. These guys raised $8 million living in Beverly Hills or something. I don't know if that part's true. But basically what happened is that they raised the money for the film, and then the film was then animated in the Philippines, but that's why everything looks oddly creepy and a bit rough around the edges. It's all like animated in the Philippines and such. And they got all their families and friends that pitched money in, they got them to come in and voice the characters. So we're talking about non-actors doing voice acting for the first time, which is interesting. It's an interesting concept. But basically they were getting all these people to just they were voicing the characters, and then the people in the Philippines were matching the voice movements in the takes that they were chosen. And then what happened is that they got the film completed, they showed it around. Harvey Weinstein saw the film. He said he enjoyed the film. He bought the film off the guys, the distribution rights, and he said that he wanted to recast the characters because he wanted name actors instead of non-actors. Fair enough. So they did that. The guy that plays the squirrel still got to keep his role. So they brought in like Anne Hathaway and Glenn Close and Patrick Warburton and Exhibit because he is such an A-class actor. And they redubbed the movie. Harvey Weinstein did it on such the cheap that he refused to even have it reanimated in the Philippines for the actors to try different lines. The actors were trying to match the exact mouth movements of the characters. It's crazy, an insane story. It's awesome. Hoodwinked is amazing. Watch Hoodwinked. Like, this movie doesn't get enough respect, and it should. How long have we going? 15 minutes. Ooh, god damn. Alright, now to get to the actual point of the podcast after 15 minutes of rambling. Maybe it's not even 15, maybe it's a little bit shorter than 15. Around about 12, perhaps? Yeah. Anyway, it's bloody hot. It's so hot. It's too hot. I can't get over it. It's too hot. Don't like it. No. It's too hot. I don't know. I went for a run this morning. I did a 5K. Pretty solid distance. I run slowly. I'm not very good with times. If you ask me to do a running race, you will beat me, but I will probably outlast you. That's my theory of how it works. And yeah, it was too hot. I was running at like 8:30, and it felt like the sun was on my back and all the way through, and it just so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. Especially when it's very hilly. It's just kind of like, even the breeze was warm. So it wasn't even like a refreshing cool breeze with this nice summer sky, because it's only supposed to be like 24, 26 at 8:30, 9 a.m. in the morning. But it felt so much hotter than that. Like, it genuinely felt like it was in the mid-30s, like I was running in the afternoon, like I'm an idiot. But I was running in the morning, preparing myself for the day ahead, and it was too hot. It took a lot out of me after that run, and yeah, I'll be honest, tough to forgive. And yeah, it's so hot. I now have a spider living in my car, which is like a weird segue, but it ties into it. Whenever I get my car, it's just very hot. Like, it's ridiculously hot. Like, if it's 30 outside, it'll be 40 inside the car. I know that's how cars work, and you're not supposed to leave people or pets or dogs or kids inside the cars, but it's too hot. I don't understand I do understand, but I don't understand the rationale and why that should physically be happening. And it's just so hot that now a spider has moved from living on the door of my car to being in the driver's side mirror of my car, and it's just sort of spinning webs all around like the inside and outside, and it started trying to connect like the door to like doors to the mirror, and I had to wipe it all off. But it doesn't matter because 2 days later it was all back there again. And now yesterday I found out that there's cobwebs inside the car. So I'm pretty sure the spider is getting inside the car, which makes sense to me because it's one of those like you can adjust the mirror with like a button on the driver's side door, and I think that the spider has crawled through and found his way to like an air conditioned event, and he's climbed out and he's just started spinning webs because I just found them one or two like on the windscreen, and I don't really know what to do about it. Like, obviously I hate spiders. Spiders are terrifying, so I'm thinking about getting a new car. And I think maybe I'm already in a hatchback. I think I might just get a new car, the same car again, but a different car. I think I'm just going to blow this one up because it is. I don't know what I'm terrified. I don't know what to do about it. Is it like a spider spray? Like, how Batman is shark repellent. Is it like a spider spray I can just like spray in the car? Like, how long do I have to let it sit there? I have to vent it out? How long until I can drive in the car again? When's a practical time to do this? Like, should I be doing this before I go to bed? Should I, like, at 9 p.m. at night, just go out, spray the car with spider spray, let it sit there for like 12 hours and go in the next morning and let it vent out? Or should this be like a midday thing where I do it at like 9 a.m., pull down the windows and let it vent out over the next 2 hours and she'll be right? I don't know what to do about this. Spiders are terrifying. They're like demons, but in real life. Who needs that many legs? Who needs that many eyes? Why are your teeth like this? It's terrifying. They even have those things before the teeth. They've got these things, and then there's teeth behind it. It's terrifying. I don't know. I don't understand why more people aren't considering spiders a dangerous threat. And I know it's ironic coming from someone living in Australia, where literally everything is possible has a possibility to kill you, and spiders are so common, but they're terrifying. Know what? I blame Harry Potter partly. Sorry, I just got some more water. But it is absolutely terrifying. I hate spiders. Spiders suck. They're the worst. I don't want to ever... I saw Monster Hunter, so this plays into it. The worst thing I can possibly imagine is a spider the size of a truck. Anything larger than a truck... Actually, no, if it's slightly larger than a truck... If it's like the size of a skyscraper, I believe I'd be sort of okay with it. Mostly because I just view it as like this absurdist thing. Like the size of a building. It depends what sort of building. Like a 3-story building, 3-story like laneway building. That's terrifying. That's like a school bus. But like size of like a truck, one that like can move so quickly and kill people, and it's like, I hate it. Like, it makes my toes curl. And even, I don't know, there's so many things that just play into it. I saw Monster Hunter on the weekend, that Mila Jovovich film based on the video game. Awful film, people are having fun. But the most terrifying thing was the spiders. They were these terrifying creatures. They could stab you, and then they had tongues and they had tentacles, and they lifted you up, and they had like pincers, like praying mantises, and it was just terrifying. I don't want spiders having these. These things are awful. For those audio listeners, I'm making like you know how you make like a hand duck thing? I'm just making this. It's like a downward motion, like a stabbing motion with your hand knives. It's terrifying stuff. And I don't know. I hate spiders. Spiders are the worst. I wish I had a gun to shoot them with. That's about the only reason I'd use a gun. Oh, there's a gun on my computer. Well, there's death to the computer then. There's a gun on anything that I own. I'm going to shoot it. There's a gun on anyone. I'm going to shoot them. Because spiders deserve nothing but guns and bullets Oh my, I'd say what about spiders with guns, but then I go, nah, not as terrifying. Now it's just more of a novel thing. But giant spiders are terrifying. You actually see their faces. I don't want to see their faces. I like to paper bag them. Bag them hard. They're just, spiders are awful. I hate spiders. Spiders and heights. Which is like pretty basic. If we're talking about fears in a grand scheme of things, spiders and heights are pretty generic. Like, I can't get any more basic or essential than me going, oh, I cannot stand heights or spiders. Like, they're just the worst. But they are. They are. I went to the Eureka Skydeck. We were in that glass box for a school trip. It's the most terrifying experience of my life. Why would anyone build a glass box on the side of a skyscraper? What if that box breaks? What if a bird flies into that glass? So many bad things can happen. What if the glass cracks? And then just... Terrifying. Terrifying. There's not even a safety net. Like, kids were just laying flat. Like they were like planking on the glass. Terrifying. Why would you have so many people there? It's awful. It's terrifying. I don't know why people make things like that are designed to just terrify people. Anyone who's not scared of giant spiders or heights, they're obviously sociopaths. Do not associate them in any way, shape, or form. Do not talk to them. They are not your friend. They are there to kill you. They will kill you. You need to run away because they are going to kill you. I'm just stuck thinking about spiders. Spiders on trucks. High-speed trucks pursuits with spiders on them. Spider shirts. Things made out of spiders. I hate spiders. It invades my mind. I don't like it. It's just like the worst thing. Maybe I should start studying how to overcome the fear of spiders. That'd be an interesting idea of what to do with it. With this fear of spiders. But really, I just think I just want it gone. I just want it gone. I don't want to deal with spiders. I don't want to worry about them because they're the worst. They are the worst. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Alright, that's my bit on spiders. I didn't even plan to talk about spiders, or heights, or Eureka Skydecks. I don't know what to do about them. They're just, how do you, if you've overcome a fear before, just let me know how you overcome. Like, I understand the idea of you have to face your fear, but I'm not getting in a room with spiders. They could kill me. That's the point of it. That's the point of the fear. It's totally rational. And heights. I went in a glass box, and it was terrifying. I had nothing to cling on to. Like, you can't even hide in a corner. If you hide in a far corner, you're further away from the glass. And if you fall, well, that sucks. You know, you're stuck in this box, far away. There's nothing to hold on to. No handrails. Nothing. I die. That's totally rational. What if lightning struck the glass? Then it would break. I saw the Meg. I know that glass doesn't protect everyone from everything. That shark thing tried to bite the little girl. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I'm going for a third drink because I'm a bit dehydrated. Okay. There we go. Nice and hydrated. I was going to say moisturised in my mouth. I'm like, don't drink moisturiser. It's not good for you. Doctor approved. Bam, 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 bam. Alright. Finally, my computer story. I'm getting around to the computer story. Okay. So, my computer normally, I bought a gaming computer. When I bought this, I was looking for something to edit because I'm an editor. I was looking for I went to Harvey Norman and I said, basically, I want to edit 4K footage. I want to be able to view 4K footage. No problem. What do I need to achieve that? And they said, right, so you're going to get this curved 4K computer monitor screen. I was like, absolutely cool. That makes sense. All the specs check out. It's curved because it's better for your eyes. It can tell brightness. It can change to color saver mode. It has like, it's fine. It works. It's a good monitor. I have no problems with it. The computer was a difficult part. The computer was the last part that I got. It took a lot of, basically a week of researching and looking, and I settled on this gaming computer with the guy. And the guy said, look, you're going to want to work with this. It's a gaming computer. I had an understanding that I needed a gaming computer, or at the very least graphics cards with the, like, you know, goals of being able to achieve 4K graphics if I need to. The graphics card would be good. So he gave me this gaming computer. It's very customizable. I have not touched it since. Customize it at all. I'm terrible with technology. I don't know how to do it. I feel like if I touched the motherboard, I would break it, which I think is something you can actually do. So the computer was working fine. It ran smoothly. It was a bit quiet, and that was good. And then all of a sudden, I just transferred all the files onto a hard drive. Just because I was running out of space. I just pulled everything up and put it on a hard drive, just for safety and the space. Did that, and the computer starts whirring, and it does that when it gets like it's dealing with something very heavy and very large. It just starts whirring really, really loud. And then I finished uni and I bought a few computer games. I bought Fall Guys and AFL Evolution 2. Now with AFL Evolution 2, it was hard graphics cards, so it just made the computer whir. And when it did that, it just started whirring a lot. And then it would calm down after I closed the game. But then one time I played the game and it just started whirring at 110%. And I closed off the game and it didn't stop whirring. It hasn't stopped whirring since. When it's on Word, it like the fan goes at 100%. When I'm on the desktop, the fan goes at 100%. When I had it all dusted and cleaned out, there was nothing wrong with it. So I called up Asus, and Asus said, look, you're basically going to have to give up the computer for 3 weeks whilst you can come and get it. Well, they didn't actually say that. What they said was, all right, we can send someone to come and grab it. And I said, great, how long is that going to take? And they said, 3 to 6 days. I'm like, okay. And then he said, then they'll get it back to the factory, and the factory will give it a look at it and try and see if there's any problems with it. And I said, okay, how long is that going to take? He said, 10 to 15 days. And I said, all right. And then he said, oh, and then it'll take another 3 to 6 days for the computer to come back. Basically, what he was saying is that, and then I asked, well, how long is that? And that's all up. He said, well, actually, they're all business days. So we're looking at a maximum of about 27 business days, which I don't know if anyone's good at math, but that's a month. That's a long time to give up a computer. And I know that's a really first world thing to say, but when you're like an editor and you're wanting to edit, sorry about that, it cut out. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, no, when you need to edit on a computer pretty regularly, when you need to access a computer pretty regularly for your job, to do this, I would need to access a computer. To do anything that I want to do in filmmaking, I have to access a computer reasonably. Otherwise, all I can do is read and maybe write a script on paper, but then I still need to put it on a computer. So here we are. So it gets down to the point where I had to actually start contemplating, I need a laptop. I need a laptop to go along with my computer so I can work with it. Obviously, I didn't go Microsoft because I just wanted to have the variation. So I bought a MacBook. I bought one of the new MacBooks with the M1 chip. I know people say, don't buy the M1 chip. They'll bring out the next one and it'll be better. And I've only got one thing to say to those people. No shit. Like, what are you expecting? For them to bring out a MacBook and it be the same, or it be worse, or it be pretty indifferent to what it is? Look at it. It's better than what the other ones are. So why wouldn't you get it? Just because that happens with every iPhone. They bring out a new iPhone, it's got a different software, and it's ultimately better than the last iPhone because they designed it to be that. And I don't know what people keep going on about. Oh, look at this. It won't work. Well, you know what, guys? It did. It works lovely. I'm recording on it right now. I haven't given up the computer though. I'm editing another short film, and I can't really give up the computer at the moment, which is a shame. But that is what it comes to. And I'll have to take like a month off where I just work on other things or work on small personal projects instead of editing the computer to give it the once over, because I don't want it to like blow up or anything. I don't know what it is. I might not have it giving it enough airflow or enough ventilation, but it's just, I dusted it and then it came straight back out. Like gave it a good dusting. I gave it a couple dustings, and it just came straight back to like worrying at 110%. It is highly frustrating. Sorry, just another glass of water. That water is actually starting to warm up. That is a depressing reality of recording here. Okay. And that's the computer story. It's really frustrating. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with a lot of things, don't I? Yeah, the computer. I'm holding on to it until I can put aside like a month to go work on, to give it up to ASUS. And I can start working on my MacBook on a few other things. Whether they be ultimately editing smaller projects or working on smaller things. I think I may just need to... I think I want to buy it like Microsoft for the MacBook. Just so I can transfer Word easily. Okay, speaking of film though, weirdos on film sets. There's always... I came back from a film set. I'm editing the short film I worked on just before I filmed the first episode. And I came to the conclusion, there's always a weirdo on a film set. No matter what you do, it'll always be a weirdo. I used to think that it was the actors. There was always an actor that was a weirdo. That's because every weirdo on that set that I'd been on to that point was an actor. So that was frustrating. Because why would that? You know, why would they? It's frustrating. Why is it always the actor that's the weirdo? Why is it never a crew that's a weirdo? Like, even there's jokes in Hollywood about flirty grips. You guys seen Marriage Story? They joked about it. Well, one thing that I've noticed on this set is that the actors seemed very normal. It was the first set where all the actors were normal and delightful and lovely people. Unfortunately, a member of the crew, I won't say who, perfectly, just want to say that out of, what name and shame, or even point fingers. Huge weirdo. I'm going on the record, bit of an oddball, bantering at a different frequency from the rest of us. Like, he was just, but it wasn't even like banter. It was just weird to the point where he was accusing everyone. He was trying to convince everyone that there were rattlesnakes in the backyard of like a home in Emerald. I don't know if anyone knows anything about rattlesnakes, but they're from Africa. Why convince anyone that rattlesnakes exist in Victoria outside of a zoo or private collection or as a pet? Why would you try and say that they exist in the wild? I would have accepted brown snake before I accepted rattlesnake. We asked what sort of snake was it. He goes, what sort of answer is that? That's not an answer. That's just... That's a rattlesnake. There is nothing. It is a rattlesnake. It is what it is. Weirdos on film sets. I shot a film. I helped shoot a film in rural Victoria. There was an actor that drove up for 3 hours, made the journey from Melbourne to rural, like, northern Victoria, and then he had like 3 beers, and he was there for 2.5 hours. He had 3 beers. Who says why? Who has that many beers on a trip to northern Victoria? For you there for 2.5 hours, and you still got to drive back. He was an alcoholic through and through. He was he was funny to talk about. It's always cathartic to talk about when there's a weirdo on the film set. I don't know if I should really be saying this out loud. I feel like this would be a lot of shooting myself in the foot if people found out. But you know what? Well, you can't live life making everyone happy. That being said, you can also avoid doing stuff like this. It's I don't know. It's not like ordering stuff from the Apple Store, is it? Where you can just get angry at the people who work in the Apple Store. You just have to deal with these people and work with them until you obviously never have to see them again. Fingers crossed. I don't know. It's always an actor. And I love actors. There's no disrespect to actors. But it's always an actor. Okay. Do I bother even talking about Christmas? Because now we're probably at just over half an hour into the podcast. New Year, Christmas. Look, we don't really have another better time to talk about this. New Year's and Christmas. Christmas was lovely. New Year's was good. How was yours? I think that's about it. Not really, though. spent it with a family. Went and saw my girlfriend, and then spent Christmas lunch with my family, and then went to my cousins for dinner. That was very nice. I enjoyed that. I always love Christmas. Christmas is a very good family day. I like spending it with my family then. New Year's, spent it at a mate's house. Okay, so Victoria had like no locally acquired coronavirus cases for 60 something days. And then one day we just get 3 locally acquired cases. Everyone panics because that's sort of just kind of like, who did that? Who did that? I bet it was New South Wales. New South Wales was the culprit, sir. The dirty northerners was the problem. And we just, shockingly, we had 3 cases, and then we got 3 cases, and then we put it aside. The restrictions were pretty much imposed close to immediately. We went from 30 people gatherings to 15, so that sort of destroyed our New Year's party. In the sense, now we had 2 New Year's parties. Now we had to go between 1 of 2 houses, and naturally, party house. Very fun. That was a fun night. It was a bit silly, but definitely fun. New Year's resolutions. There's nothing says more about New Year's resolutions than writing them really, really hungover. My really, really hungover is just kind of like, I am fatigued in all parts of my body. I just want to lie down and sleep. I don't want to even like see anyone or hear anything. But yeah, my New Year's resolutions. I have them. I'll go over my 2020 ones. Basically, you can tell how I went. Okay. Get down to 80 kilos. I did not. Long story short, I'm a long way off from 80 kilos. It'll be a lot of work this year to get even close to that. Try out a diary. I didn't. I think when I wrote this, I think I meant like a journal diary. No, not a journal diary. Like a what I have to do today sort of diary. And I just like the way that I'm doing it at the moment. I just had notes of like a to-do list every day. I just go out and do that, and that's my way of doing that. I re-edited a film from uni. I did that, yes. I finished that. I finished that over like the first few months of the year, and then I put it out in like April or something. It's not been that popular. It's just been weird movie. Not that it was a mystery that, I'll be honest, was pretty. When we were developing it at uni, we lost sense of what was a mystery, and it ended up coming off as a bit of a thriller. So I wanted to re-edit it. I think there was a better version of the film, and I think I may have hit that better version. Get an RSA. I have an RSA. If you want me to go to a bar, I'll go behind and I'll serve you alcohol because I have an RSA. So if you need any supplies in the alcoholic way, I can supply. A truck license. I didn't get one. I didn't get a truck license, mostly because of COVID getting in the way of that. Watch all my unwatched DVDs. I did accomplish that, and then I bought more ones. So yes and no. I got a volunteer working with children check. Yes, I'm safe to work with children on the volunteer capacity, and I have a card, so I just can't get paid for it. A movie advice book. I did a bit of that. I'm still keeping up with that. Basically, what I have is I have a journal, like a notebook, and anything that seems remotely relevant to making films, in advice of making films, or how to manage yourself in getting an agent or something like that, then I think that I got one of those. I'm writing them down. It's at the moment it's something like 15, 16 pages. I reckon I have, and like it'll keep accumulating. Don't worry. It's on the 2021 list. My GC19 film. Okay, so I filmed a short film on my trip to the Gold Coast back in 2019 with my girlfriend. It's called A Little Break. I wrote it. I just had like ideas for shots, and I just put them together, and they told a story. So, that's also on my channel. On the channel, it didn't do also very well. I didn't know what to do with it. It was just more of me learning how to put films like images together. My Lachlan Port website. Yes, I have a website. It's Lachlan Port, www.lachlanport.com. lachlan@lachlan.port.com if you need to email me about any queries you have about filmmaking, or if you want to hire me, do so, please. There's an email link and you'll be able to contact. I believe I'm going to be putting up a podcast page on that website, so people will start to see that. Complete the masterclass film courses. There's 12, I think, of them, and I got through 7. So I didn't get through all of them. That's mostly because I didn't really use masterclass for about 7 months, and then I started getting into it. I'm still using it. I paid for the second year, so I've indulged myself with $600 into this online website, and I hopefully will not have to pay for this again by the time November rolls around. I recently finished the Ron Howard masterclass, and I'm working on the Chris Voss, watching through Chris Voss teaching the art of negotiation. Really interesting. I don't know if anyone's looked into how to negotiate, but it's very interesting in how it's all done. Excuse me. Hey, who come? Yeah, not too bad. How are you? No, sorry, I was going to head over after I had a meeting in half an hour. Oh, is everything okay? Oh, okay. Oh, I can still feed the pig today if you want. Okay, that's okay. Uh, j- all right, see you soon, Cam. Bye. Gosh, I'm going to have to edit out a lot of this podcast. All right. What else is there? 12 short film scripts. I wrote 5 and a first draft of a feature. Not a bad achievement, but it could have been better. As they say in Wonder Woman 1984, your goals were good, but they could be better. 3 short films. I think what I meant is I would direct 3 short films. What ended up happening in reality is that I put a couple of edits. I re-edited a film and counted that as one. I put out a film that I filmed in the previous year and put it out as one. And then I did a doco for uni, so I counted that one as one. I guess I did in a weird way. In the post-production sense, I did. Read 60 scripts. I believe I got to 46 or 47. It's a lot of work. By a lot of work, I mean not a lot of work. It's 2 hours a week. If you put 2 hours a week aside, you'll be able to read a script. And I just didn't put enough time aside to put the value in reading scripts. Get an internship. I got an internship at a local footy club, being their social media content producer. So I've done work for sports clubs and for a sports club, if anyone's interested. Of course, now I'm just shamelessly self-promoting. Yes, I got an internship. I passed it. I finished uni. It was a main stay in helping me finish uni. Networked the Film Victoria community. Sort of, but not really. But mostly blame COVID for that. Write a feature film script. I did. Got a first draft of that one. I'm looking to hopefully get 2 more drafts of that script done by the end of 2021. Get 12 other short film jobs. Basically, I was aiming to get 12 short film jobs a month. 1 short film job a month. And I think I wrote down 5 here. 1, 2, 3. 3 only comes on the top of my mind. Maybe. So supposedly 4. Yeah. So it comes to the top of my mind. Make a Filmmaker toolbox. Basically, I bought a toolbox and put a bunch of tape in there. What it accumulated to. I recently bought clamps. I think I'm gonna have to buy a proper toolbox. One of those $100 bags, DeWalt bags. One of those ones. Start putting that one in. Go to a film festival where my film is. Unfortunately, there was no film festivals for me to visit in 2020. So that was a shame, but I'm hoping to achieve. The one I'm editing now will be at a festival, so that'll be exciting. And there's another one that I'm hoping to go to in February. And travel to Europe or US. So you can tell how that's going to go in the next few years. I don't think I'll be travelling this year. At least not internationally. At best, New Zealand. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else. And I suppose I better start rounding off some of my goals for 2021. I'm just gonna read it like this. You're gonna have to bear with me. All right, run 25Ks comfortably. Get more photos of me on set. Get a truck license. The movie advice book. Complete the masterclass courses that I want, just so I don't have to pay for a third year of it. I'm really not interested in paying for a third year. Network the Film Victoria community. Go to a film festival where my film is. Read 45 scripts. I lowered myself from 60 to 45, just so I think I could, in my mind, have more time for other things that are in terms of business-wise. Write 4 complete short films, essentially meaning to the point where I'm really happy with it and I would make the short film if I had the opportunity. Probably, which means multiple drafts. 2 more drafts of my feature. First draft of a second feature. Re-edit a doco that I did for uni, so I can actually get that into a festival. No one's seen that yet. I'm hopefully going to get that doco into a film festival when I'm done with it. Increase my income, go on a holiday, eat healthier, exercise more, lose weight, read 12 books. Books I'm beginning to realize are really important. So I just started reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Lasting Antidote Chaos. I started reading that this morning. I'll be honest, I'm a slow reader, so I've only just got through the foreword. I don't have any progress report on that, but I'll let you guys know what I think when I finish it. There's stuff that I didn't even touch on this today. Oh well. I think I'm going to wrap it up there, mostly just because it's been a long enough podcast. It's been coming to like just over 45 minutes, I'm assuming, or close to 50. Thank you for watching or listening. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel or to the podcast on iTunes. Like the video and the podcast. You can comment below if you want to respond to anything. But remember, if you want to talk about the secret podcast, just shh. And rate the podcast on iTunes, because that's always important to get people knowing about how good the podcast is. And this podcast is not on Spotify yet. If people are enjoying it and if I'm enjoying it, which I am at the moment, then I will look into putting this on Spotify. There's not much else. My website. If you have any questions, just email me at portlachlan@gmail.com. If you want to look at my website, look at some of the work that I've done, www.lachlanlaporte.com. Follow my TikTok, Lockie P, but the E altogether, but the 3 is and what just the E is a 3. There's not that much else to do in terms of plugging. It's gonna. How much battery power do I have? 10%. Okay, I should probably start logging that off. All right. Thank you for watching the podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to, if you have any viewer questions or questions you want me to answer, please email them to me or leave them in the comment sections. Thank you very much. I will see you in a fortnight.